psychology of fencing is basically anything that influences while you're competing, right? And we know that the nerves usually actually takes a bit of us. What I've done, I've broke down the things that influences our fencing into about 4 categories, which is before competition, during a match, after the match, and sometimes anytime. Doesn't matter actually what time it is. It's if you lack it, it will influence you. The first one, and I think it's the most important one, is a visualizing success. So before competing, it has a great effect on your confidence. So if you can visualize on your mental preparation, you got a best move, concentrate on it. Your tactical, your technical, your equipment, visualize the success in every single aspect of these elements before competition. During a match and for the beginning of the fight, visualization actually helps you. So you got to have favorite move that you always visualize, actually how you got to go through it. You got to go step by step. Think about it, visualize it. It's got to be in front of your face, and you make it. And usually visualization after a match, it's a final score. It gives you a positive influence. Next one is your nutrition and drinks. So if you're not drinking during a match or before, or you're not having a correct nutrition, for beginning or rehearsal, it will affect you. Okay, so if you're a dehydrated athlete, you're not going to have a good preparations before the match. During a match, scoring a hit, defending, making decisions, if you're dehydrated, it's not going to work. And after the match, you have always a loss of focus. Mood in the camp. So if you're in a camp, if you're in a training camp, your mood, some days you're happy, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. That influences you. That influences your mindfulness, your method of relaxation. It will get affected because of your mood. During a match, if you're down, you realize so you got a length of the piece. If you're down during a match, you're usually actually on your side. You're on a back foot. You're toward the beginning of the line. So you're on a defending foot, I should say. So that will affect you. And you have a disappointment, you got anxiety or stress after a disappointing match. Okay, so that's mood in the camp. We will touch base on it. We come back on it, that how we can affect it, how we can manipulate it. The fourth point is a relationship with the other team members. Okay, so that will again affect your quality of sleep before the match. During a match, your scoring hit will get affected. And after the match, you're always distracted. The fifth one is your equipment issues. You got issues with your equipment, it will affect you. It will affect your warm-up. It shortens the time. You're never going to get a warm-up because you're busy fixing your equipment. Your actual score gets affected if you got a faulty equipment. And toward the end, if there's a toward the end, you're probably not going to make it because you're faulty equipment. General nerves and excitement. We all have that. Our athletes have it as well. So that will affect your warm-up lessons. Remember, your warm-up lessons, it's when you're coaching or your coaches are trying to calibrate your timing before you step on the piste. That's quite important. If you're nervous when you're going against with your coach to do preparation, that gets affected. That time is not going to get calibrated correctly before you step on the piste. During a match, there's support from the teammates. It could lift that nervousness. It could actually sort of just eradicate it or make it worse. Even the crowd, if you have a crowd with you, that excitement, the stress, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. It could actually sort of get you off the time. So your timing could go off. And after the match, it has no effect. Performance of the teammates. If you see one of your teammates being treated by a physio, that mentally will affect you. It affects your preparation. And that performance of a teammate, which could be support from a coach, could be positive or negative. So you have to be very careful. You got to know what you're doing on the start of a piece. The second last issue is a personal issue. So it doesn't matter what it is. You got something at home, you got something on your mind, which has got absolutely nothing to do with fencing. Still will affect, the first thing it affects is organization. So in your mind, it's like a little library. You have everything in place. You know what you're doing. You've done the visualization. You've done everything. You've got rehearsal. If you got personal issues, that organization just gets messed up. It's not there. You don't see it. You can't prepare. And that just before the match. And during a match, your time management gets affected. The last one is confidence in fencing, which is like if you got changes in a schedule before fencing, things change. All of a sudden, they change the piece. The time that you want to get on the piece changes. That can actually affect your confidence in your fitness. Another thing is the perceived mistake by the referee. So if you think the referee has made a mistake on you, that will affect your bouts. That comes again, confidence in your fitness. Your time goes out. You make a mistake. You prematurely step into a distance that you shouldn't because you're already preoccupied. It goes back again. The whole thing is a matrix. The whole thing is connected. Your confidence in fitness goes back again to your visualization. Yeah, the whole thing can get affected by your preparation. So how much your visualization get affected, your confidence in fitness, your personal issues, your visualization can affect all these things, can make it stronger, can make it weaker. Now, there are a few things that the coaches do to help the students when they going through these psychological influences during competition. Usually the coaches can pick it up if you're not with it, if you're stressed, if you're nervous, if you stepped on a piece. One of the things get affected is your muscles. You get tense. So if you're fencing, you can't move your feet. I can tell straight away. If I see students not moving, I know they're a bit there. They're nervous. They're not there. So you can do a reverse engineering on the students that is stressed. And you see the coaches. One of the things they usually yell from the start of a piece is move your feet. Move your feet. When you move your feet, what you do, you relax the muscles. So you reverse it by moving your feet. You start actually sort of releasing the tension. The tension gets released. So that's one of the first thing and one of the basic things you can do. The other thing is sitting low on guard. When you stepped on a piece, usually fencers are nervous, especially if it's the first bout. They make silly mistakes. So they've done one move about 100 times, but they lunge and they hit it off target, right? They rushing into things. You see it because they're nervous. Now, imagine that and get that toward end of the bout. Toward the end of the bout, the pressure is quite high. The stakes are quite high. One of the things that you can do, you got to teach them, and they don't usually do that. You have to do it in a club for them to be able to do it on the piece, is to sit lower on the guard. As soon as they sit lower on the guard, you're lowering the platform. You're lowering the platform, the mistakes actually sort of goes out. The confidence goes up. As soon as you lower the center of gravity, somehow it has an effect on the confidence of the fencer. One of the so here on the work that I'm going to give you here, which is about gaining confidence, is from a Hungarian coach and a French coach. So it's something that they worked a lot with the students. It has worked, and they recorded it. So visualization is one of them that I told you about it. So before anything you do, and in the club, you have to practice this. You got to practice the move, your best moves that you have, pick it, visualize it, and go through it one by one. So when you step on the piece, you can be on time when you actually hit the target. The other thing is the preparation, and there are 4 pieces into the preparation. One of them is physical, technical, tactical, and mental. Okay, and all of these gets affected. It can be. It's about, say, 90% is on a student and 10% on the coach. Now, one of the things that you can do on a preparation is optimism. You see the students that are always positive, right? If they get hit, they don't get upset. It's okay. It's a fantastic hit from the opponent. That's good. But you can't hit them twice in the same way. So they learn. They know how to stop that parry. That's from optimism. That because they see the move, they see how they get hit. Again, that gets locked into a visualization, because by the time they get hit, and by the time that they go back to the line to fence again, they thought about how they got hit. They thought about the technique that been applied on them. So next time they block that door. That door is not open again for their opponent to hit them. So you got to practice that again. That doesn't come with 1 week of preparation. If you remember last week, I was talking about periodization. That periodization is you start from within 4 months or a 6 months plan before you get to the competition. 2 weeks before competition is called tapering. It's pretty much like this pen. You prepare this much, that's tapering. You lower amount of your training. You more do mental training. You're strengthening. And the lessons that you do with your coach is smaller, is high quality. And also you practice things that you're good at. And that way you always stay positive. You're not going to doubt yourself. Okay, so mastery is another one that comes with preparation. I'm just going to quote this from John Wood. He's a basketball coach in US, which says, confidence is simply a natural result of correct preparation. So these are the preparation that you cannot do 2 weeks before the comp, 1 week before the comp. You have to have a plan. And that goes between for coaches and for students. Remember that. With mastery, you and your coach, you athlete and your coach, you always strive for perfection. Doesn't matter what move you do. Doesn't matter how good you do it. You have to repeat it. You got to do it again. You got to do it again and again and again. Keep repeating it and go for perfection. There is always something that you can do better in that move that you always do 100%. Success in others, that's quite important. Study people from your club or from your country that achieved high results. Richard Cruz from England. For a very, very long time, we never had anybody from England to win any medals. So when Richard Cruz actually won the gold medal in Tokyo, and they did an interview with him, one of the things actually he said, the biggest influence in his victory was his English mate. His name is, hang on, I've written it here, Halstead. Halstead's success in St. Petersburg affected his bout in Tokyo, and he won the gold medal. So mentally, it gives you a way. It makes you something that it's possible. If one of my teammates in the club has done it, I can do it again. I can repeat that. So that comes with success in others. Always look it up. Always support each other. So one person from your club is successful, others will follow. Positive reinforcement, that's important. That's the one that I was telling you in a preparation. It's 90% student, 10% the coach. You got to teach your students, for coaches, you got to teach your students to talk to themselves in a positive manner. So the students going just loudly, you got to, or just mumble, but not in their heads. The lips got to move, saying like, be patient. Next move, got to be able to do it. I can do this. So positive reinforcement for that person, and every person is different. So find your positive reinforcement that works for you. And always have it chanted. As you're going from a preparation, you got just your lesson from your coach before stepping on a piece. It's important that you chant these things. Be patient, don't rush. So that's quite important. Strength in character. That's an interesting thing. I really had to sort of just research this thing. The quality of character in yourself is quite important. Yeah, so the readiness to break your limits. So every time you train, you got to go 10% more. In terms of, you got to believe in yourself, control, timing. The basically these days the difference between a winning and a losing is very, very small. Fencing is a worldwide knowledge now. You can point out to a coach somewhere in the world that's saying he's the optimum coach. He's the one with the magic wand. That doesn't exist anymore. Most techniques are being shared. The world is linked. If I know a technique, the chances are a lot of coaches around the world that can know that technique. And with the good preparations, they got the same students as my students. So on a day, the student with a stronger character, with they got inspiration. If you got that inspiration on the day, you win. And that strength in the character again comes from training in the club. I've got long notes on this one, but I've probably got to stop here and I've got to pass it on to Yusuf. But if you have any questions, ask. If you want any shares between coaches, if you have anything you want to share, be happy to hear.
Thank you very much, Arash, for your explanation about psychology of fencing.